Alright, Ora-band people, this is probably gonna be the last video I make on this account or whatever, I'm not really sure, but what I just want to do right now is just answer every question that's been asked, on here, like every comment question. So, let's see, one sec. There are like a million questions. I answered them in the comments before, but I just want to make a video that's dedicated to all the questions. Alright, let's see. Can I use any retainer? Yes, it doesn't matter what kind of retainer you use, or it doesn't really matter what kind of retainer. After using the Ora-band, you have to use a retainer or keep using the retaining bands, or your teeth will shift back to normal. I haven't used the retaining bands in like a day or two, so my teeth are not gapless. There's like a tiny gap there. That's because I haven't worn the retaining band in like a day. But if I wear the retaining band, the gap will close within like 20 minutes. So it's really not that big of a deal, I guess. Did I ever get a retainer, and how much was it? I got a retainer mold thing. It cost me like $45, and I tried using it, but it was just too much of a hassle, and just, I don't know, I guess I'm too retarded to know how to use it, so I never got around to using it. Yeah, I just use the retaining bands. I don't bother with the retainer I bought. I waste my money on it. I bought it off eBay. It was a mold you have to mold with your teeth. I never actually tried using it. It was too impossible. Will using the bands on your two front teeth create gaps on the teeth next to them? Yes, they will. Some companies tell you that they won't, but I don't see how they wouldn't unless you're using braces, which you're not. So of course they're gonna create gaps on the other sides, but they're really small. It's like, it depends on how big your front gap is. If it's really big, divide that gap by 2, and that's how big the gaps on the other sides. My gap was pretty small, so the gaps on the other sides are not noticeable at all. So it's all good. I just want to hear you talk. Alright. Alright. Next video comments. Yeah, I just want to tell anyone who's watching this if you have a gap, just get Ora-band. It's the cheapest way. It's so easy, and like, I don't know, I just thought or think it's a really good solution to gaps. But if you have like an underbite or overbite, just get braces, I guess. But since I had a tiny gap, I did Ora-band, and it was extremely cheap and worth my time. Hopefully you watched the results video I made. Alright. How long did it take you? Over 30 days. So it took me like 2.5 months to close my gap. Like, at a point, it just, like, the results were going really fast at a point. Then at a point it just stopped completely, and then like a month later it closed. I was like, the fuck? But I mean, it worked, so it worked. So yeah, it did take me over 30 days. Did you take them off for more than 2 hours a day? I wore them 24/7. Yeah, 24/7. Is there a certain way to wear them? Do I put them on my teeth and go? I mean, I just put them on my two front teeth, and I went with that. I mean, there's no really way to wear them. You just put them on your teeth. Where do you get the retainer thingy? And did your gap come back? The retainer thingy I got off eBay. I wouldn't recommend getting it because you're gonna be confused, like extremely confused. So don't get that. And did your gap come back? Yeah, it comes back if you don't get a retainer, one of those little wires behind your two front teeth, or just keep using retaining bands. Yeah, it will come back if you don't do that shit. Did your two front teeth start to separate from the rest of your teeth? And when did you wear the bands? Front teeth. I don't understand the first part of the question. Did your two front teeth start to separate from the I guess he's asking, did they create gaps on the other sides? Yes, that happens, but they're not big. And I wore the bands 24/7 all the time. I wanted to close my gap really badly, so I did what I had to do. What kind of bands did you get? I got the mixed bands. I'm not sure the name of it, but it has like half and half, I think. It has like closing bands and retaining bands. So yeah, I got that package. I'm not sure what it's called. What did you use to retain your teeth after your gap closed? I am using retaining bands. I tried using a retainer. Shit's too hard. Hi, hello. There's something I do not really understand, so I would like to ask you a question, please. I am interested in this product, but you said earlier that your gap came back. So is it really helpful to use Ora-band? Because if the gap comes back after all, it is seen as a waste of time. No, the gap does not come back unless you do not retain. You have to retain, or yeah, the gap will come back. But by retain, I mean get a retainer. Use the 5 million retaining bands they give you. It's really not that hard. Honestly, the retaining bands, you can't even feel them. Like, I'm being completely serious. Are your teeth loose from your gums at all? Honestly, yeah, they were loose for a little while I was actually trying to close my gap. Shit got extremely hard. I mean, it hurt a lot, and my gums were actually hurting really badly. And when I did that, my teeth were loose. So yeah. Did you wear your bands 24 hours a day? Yeah, I wore them 24 hours a day. Well, using the bands, front teeth, yes, they will. They'll create gaps on the other sides. Should I get the Sporting Smiles retainer off eBay? If I could go back before I bought it, I wouldn't buy it because shit's too impossible. Just if you really want a retainer, just go to your dentist. Don't buy it off eBay. It's just, unless you know what you're doing, which I didn't. So just do what you want to do. But I would not buy it. Like, personally, I wouldn't. Thanks. How long did you have to keep your bands on? Jesus Christ, you guys ask the same questions over and over. Yeah, I wore them 24 hours a day. And yeah, I think that's the last question. If you have any other questions, just ask them. But I mean, those are the basic questions everyone's been asking. I probably answered the same 3 questions 10 times during this video, but I mean, whatever. You're taking a shit while recording. Yup, I was. Felt good, bruh. Alright. That's it for this video. Probably the last video. If you haven't got Ora-band and you want to close your gap, get Ora-band. It's worth it. It's only $20. get it. And yeah. That's basically all there is to say about this shit. Peace, niggas.